Wow. Welcome to Regenerate with Purpose. And today we are traveling to the Netherlands. And we have with us our beautiful Vienna from Belu Travel. I'm Susan Rajkumar from Mujeres con Propósito. And we're part of the Regenera Travel Summit 2025 team. And this is where we help tell you guys what we're doing, what it's about, and why you should sign up for our launch on September 27th. So today we want to present Caitlyn Sockwell from the NGO Waste Not Spot. Vienna, why don't you say hi and tell us a little bit about how you and Caitlyn met? And then we get Caitlyn to share what she's doing with us.
Thank you, Suzanne. Thanks for the introduction. Well, I'm Vienna from, as you know, from Belu Travel. And this is my friend and also teammate, Caitlyn Stockwell. I met Caitlyn through another Dutch entrepreneur from an NGO, Circularity, Marco Roig. He introduced me to Caitlyn, and because I was needing someone to help me with a waste management project in Miami Tela. Because, well, we have talked about that in the previous podcast. But yeah, I was in shock when I went with a Belgian traveler and saw how abandoned the place was and full of trash. And investigating in the community, I found out that much of the trash came from the ocean and was brought through the currents, no, especially in the rainy season. So I said, well, this is something that it's not just like one cleanup. It's something that we have to do a project long term to do something about it and really have a positive impact in the community, which is not really receiving tourists at the moment. So yeah, then that's how we met, and she started working with us on the project, and she has been well, she will tell you more about it. But yeah, it's really great working with Caitlyn. I'm very happy and blessed to have her in our team.
Right back at you, Vienna. Thank you so much. Well, I guess a bit about me. So I refer to myself as an Austro-American. So I was born and raised in Wisconsin in the USA, and I'm most recently from Australia. So I spent a decade in Australia. And I'm currently coming to you from Rotterdam in the Netherlands. Um, I always there's a few fun facts. So I'm a bit of a global citizen. I don't really qualify as being. It's very confusing when I say I'm going home. Am I going home to the US or Australia or the Netherlands? But fun fact, I am from the home of the hamburger. Some might want to test me on that, but I think it's been proven now.
Really,
Um,
Wisconsin is the home of the
yeah.
original hamburgers.
Apparently, we've got hamburger days every August. You can even participate in a ketchup, a ketchup slide. We also have a
Okay.
hamburger museum as well, so it's legit.
Very
Yeah,
cool. Caitlin, are the
yeah,
hamburgers connected to the immigrants who would have settled in Wisconsin? And is there a connection to the European elements of like how
absolutely.
meat is prepared on that side?
Well, the story as it goes is Charlie. Don't remember his last name. There's a lot of German immigrants in that part of Wisconsin, just from they were really successful farmers in Germany, and they were recruited over um, in the early days. And this Charlie was he was like he would roam around to the different state fairs and sell meat and fair food. And he just one day he originally sold meatballs, and then apparently one day he said, "Oh, it's too difficult to transport. I'm just gonna flatten these balls into patties and put them between two buns." And there you go.
Voila.
So don't quote me on that,
Yummy.
but
I just,
best visit the hamburger museum.
wow, I just got hungry.
Yeah, yes, it's nearly dinner time as well. How dare I talk about hamburgers? But I digress. So that's a little bit about where my roots are from, I guess. I am a doctor of physiotherapy, currently registered in Australia. So that's just sort of my first career, where my first career took me. And whilst working as a physio, I sort of fell into or stumbled into the world of waste and just got obsessed and passionate about it. And that rabbit hole of looking into waste and getting involved every way I can, including co-founding a not-for-profit called Rethink Recycling Co-op in Melbourne, Australia. That sort of led me down to the path of circularity, which then eventually led me down the path of moving to Europe, where things are happening.
Well, that brings me to a question, because I was asking Caitlyn earlier. I was reading on you guys have your blog and you have your page, you have your NGO. And I was like, the term we're using is regenerate. And we've been hearing a lot about sustainable movements and, the UN and sustainable goals. And then I find it very interesting that you guys talk about circularity, from sustainability to circularity. So can you clarify a little more for us? Like, what is circularity exactly, and how does it fit into the whole regenerate universe?
Yes. Okay. I love this question. So before I explain circular economy, I recognize sounds like a scary word. The word economy makes some people's eyes glaze over, and I get it. Before I explain circular economy, I want to just quickly define the type of economy that we're living in now.
Okay.
So what we're living in now, we call a linear economy. So that's where we take like the Earth's resources, we make something out of that, and then we waste it. So it's just going down the line. You're taking from the Earth, and then it ends up either getting incinerated in our landfills, or ending up most of the time in our environment and being polluted. So that's what's called a linear economy. So what we're trying to work towards is a more circular economy. And what that means is there's three principles of a circular economy. The first one is designing out waste. There's no reason that waste shouldn't be a thing. There's a song that I really love. It's by Formidable Vegetable. It's an Australian band. They've got a song, and the lyrics read, "There's no such thing as waste, only stuff in the wrong place." And I love that. And it's absolutely true. We need to be designing out waste because it shouldn't be a thing. The second principle of circular economy is keeping materials in circulation. So we're recovering the waste that does leak, and we're using that as a valuable resource. And the third principle is regenerating nature. So it's actually part of a circular economy, right? So that's how it all fits. And I like to say, so sustainability and circularity often get crossed over, but I like to think of sustainability is the goal, right? I mean, we've got the sustainable development goals that we're all trying to work towards. That's the goal and the way of life that we're trying to create for ourselves and everyone. Circularity is the tool to get us there. One of the many tools to get us there. So there you go.
Caitlyn, do you think
Very
that
interesting. I love it.
I have a question with that though. If sustainability is our goal in terms of how we sustain ourselves, but do you think it could lead to complacency? Because we were kind of examining with our team, and we're waiting for one of our team members to join us, John, and we were looking at extraction. We were looking at regeneration on the two extremes, and we kind of had like sustainability as our point zero. Like you can get to a certain place where you're there, and like can you move towards regeneration? But in the definition that you just gave us is kind of like circular as like path towards sustainability. What do you think about that?
Yeah. So with circularity, with the regeneration aspect, again, sustainability in its core definition is just a world where we can sustain for future generations. That's the minimum. Maybe here's another way to explain it. Circularity or sustainability is often seen as doing less bad, do the least amount of harm. Whereas circularity, it's more viewed as do more good. So we're going past that zero mark. We're kind of exceeding expectations, if you will.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, basically what Caitlyn is saying, I think it's that sustainability, it's not different to regeneration. And it's basically like goes a step further. No, it first, to be regenerative, you have to be sustainable. And from sustainable, you can go like one step more. And if you are active, if you are do something more, if you engage and regenerate, do things new and better, then you get to regeneration. And it's all part of this circular economy, which this kind of had the idea of what it was. I know like all these elements were part of circularity, but wow, you explained it really well. The way you explained it, wow, I just imagined, the circle, and it is now really clear for me in my mind. Thank you so much, Caitlyn. You're amazing.
Fantastic.
And
My pleasure.
I love the idea that you said that it's about doing more good, that intentional choice to do something better. And I think we come from elements where the different ways, and as you described so perfectly, the linear kind of economies that we have been living with, that generally, we're climbing, getting to this point, and then, where do you go after that? So to come back to that, oh my God, Lion King comes into my mind, and the circle of life.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
and
of course.
it's always been there. It's always been there in the wisdom of our peoples. It's always been there in the
Exactly.
wisdom of our indigenous cultures. It's in our storytelling, everything about where we begin and how we come back to the earth, etc. So it's
Yeah.
interesting to see that finally, there's a generation that's concerned about the economy itself, and can we get the economy to actually be a circular element
Yeah.
where there's that level of prosperity, and you finding ways along the wheel where we can actually do more good.
Yes.
You
And
know,
that's a
someone
key
is
that's a key thing that you mentioned, is that we're not inventing the wheel. It's always been there. We've just slapped a fancy label on it, but it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Just following
looking.
the R ladder, or the waste hierarchy. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
incredible.
Caitlin, tell
It's
us a little
going
bit
back to,
about
yeah.
your organization,
Sure.
Waste Not Spot. What do you
Sure.
guys do?
Okay, so we are, first and foremost, I guess there's two sides of it. So on one hand, we're a circular economy consultancy. So we're helping organizations of all different types, all different sectors, because the beauty of circular economy is that the principles can be applied everywhere. So all sectors, all industries, we're working with organizations to help them essentially transition to a circular economy. And there's a bit of a way that we do this. The first way, or the first way we get involved in an organization, is working with them to research the system that they're trying to change. So maybe it's a business whose value chain is in, let's say, Bangladesh, in the textile industry. They want to improve their value chain and positively impact their operations in that space. We can't just go in there willy-nilly and do stuff just because it might have been done before, and on paper it sounds like the good thing to do. We actually need to understand that system through research, understand what's happened around the world in other contexts, what were the learnings and the insights, how did they partner together with those local people. So it's all about that research and analysis, really understanding the system that we want to change. Then we work with the organizations to set up their organizational structures and development side of things. So that might be a circular economy strategy or a waste management strategy, or there's an infinite amount of things that a business might need to develop their operations in circular economy. So we help them with that. So now we've got the lay of the land, we've got a foundation strategy in place. Now we can go in and do the thing that we said we were going to do, right? We can find partners, we can find funding, we can do the pilot project and see how it goes. And then we've done that. Now we can scale up. So that's where we come in and help with international trade and development of circular and circular economy initiatives. And then from there, it's fine and well that we've done the research and the strategy and the pilot and the scaling up, but it all doesn't matter as much if we're not shouting our learnings and successes from the mountaintop. So that's where the education and communication side of things comes in. So that on a scale, broad scale, is what we help organizations to do in transitioning to the circular economy. On the other side, that's kind of the means towards our main mission, is mainstreaming circular economy. So bringing communities and people on the local level along with us and enabling them and inspiring them to also take initiative and ownership of transitioning in their own lives, but also on a community level. So that's soon to be. So we are a for-profit business at the moment, but we're looking at establishing a foundation currently in the process. So that will be the aim of that.
Wow, that's amazing. And I love it because you are working multi-sectorial, no, which is very important because it's true. It's we're all part of it. So it's not just like the company has to, if the company is doing it, but then the community is not involved, or or it's not gonna be as effective or have the same impact. But if you do it, that's why also we are inviting for people from the government, no, from the different governments, to also join Regenerativo and learn more about the circular economy, about regeneration, sustainability, because they are a foundation. For example, they provide a foundation in our countries, and they're part of it, just like the travelers, just like the companies, the tour operators, and all the people that are in the chain. No, so wow, that's really good, really good.
100%. Yeah, we need everyone on board. Yeah,
exactly. Yes, totally agree with you.
I have a question for both of you. I know both of you have been working in this, and Vienna, you've traveled a lot, and you have a lot of this travel experience and witnessing different cultures around. And Caitlyn, you also having moved from different continents, literally, and having lived on 3 different continents and looking at how the culture handles challenges. So for me, this is a cultural question because this is the part of me that I'm curious about as well. Like sometimes you get disappointed when you hit a wall. Like you hit a wall when we're trying to get people to listen, we're trying to get them to make a change that can benefit everyone, but a lot of people tend to just be tunnel vision. They just see one line of prosperity versus seeing the whole, the holistic prosperity that can come from it. I'll ask both of you, um, how do you meet the challenges in presenting the ideas of, I know Vienna has been with challenges to talk about regeneration in a country like in Honduras, where culturally people still have a perception of survival. There's the perspective of just we need to survive, so we're still not thinking about the whole. We're still focused on self. And in your experience, this would be my question. How do you both handle these challenges when you are going up against and trying to invite government, which is one of the hardest things to get on board? Like, how do you maintain your motivation, and what are some of the challenges that you've encountered and strategies that help? Because I'm sure that other people listening to us, we get disappointed sometimes, and collective disappointment could sometimes it feels like a breaking point. So how do you jump over that?
Well, I think I I can only speak from real lived experience in the minority world. So, I've been North America, Australia, and Europe. So, um, and they have similar challenges, although I would say less, different challenges than the majority. Um, so I would say, well, firstly, let's normalize the anxiety and the frustration that comes along with what we're trying to achieve, right? We're operating again in a system that's working against what we're trying to achieve. So we are going to run into challenges and difficulties, but I think that's also the great opportunity that circular economy allows us, is that it works with the economy and offers different business models where it can sort of speak to those people that might be, well, what's in it for me and how much money am I going to make? Because it does take a little bit of that into consideration. And when we think about sustainability economically, that's one of the main pillars. So we want environmental, social, and economic benefits, and to sustain those for future generations. One thing I would say, so now that we've addressed the elephant of emotional fatigue, um, one thing that I've taken away from one of my circular economy idols, her name is Jacqueline Cramer. She's the former Dutch Minister for Housing and the Environment, I believe. She always says, find your coalition of the willing. So what that means is find the people who are just as motivated, just as passionate as you, and come together. One, you're going to feed off of each other, and you're going to motivate each other. And when one person isn't feeling as great, the other one steps in and gives you a nudge where you need it. The other thing is finding the path of least resistance. If you're wanting to change this huge system, I don't know, on an example, but if you're finding a lot of difficulty getting in on one solution, look to where there might be another solution or a challenge that needs to be addressed, where people are more on board with it. And then prove to them that it can be changed, it can be better, and then slowly work your way back to that other thing. So I think avoiding things that are going to cause you more frustration and going with the flow as well can be helpful. This is what I've found, anyways.
Finding balance. Well, just before Vienna, honey, before you start, I just want to present our other member of our team, John McKay. So, hey, John, how are you? Welcome. Figuring his audio, so we get a chance to say hi. So, Vienna's ready. Do you want to follow up on the challenges and how you handle the challenges that you encounter?
Yes, I think it comes from the heart. It's something like a higher calling. It's something like it's something that I just feel that I need to do stronger than any challenge I have, no? And well, I have a lot of faith and I pray a lot, so I know that it's not gonna be easy. But I also pray, like Caitlyn says, for God to connect me, with the right people, the ones that are also like think alike and want to do something also for the world, and He does. So there have been times that I have cried, and I don't. I'm like, oh, maybe I want to. This is not gonna work. Well, before I think now I'm more. I have gotten more resilient, stronger. My faith has grown, so I don't get this anymore. But there have been times before that I was like, I'm gonna quit this. Like maybe this is too big what I want to do, or it's too difficult. I'm going against the current, and no one understands me. And then I was thinking, But if no one understands me, it's just because they don't know. So we need to educate them. So that's where the idea of the summit came from. Because it's true, when I talked about regeneration here in Honduras, people didn't understand me. So in Europe, yes, more people understand. And they were like, wow, amazing. Yeah. And they want to know more about it. But here it was like, like they were lost. So I was like, okay, we need some education here. And basically, that's how it was birthed. No, the Regenera Travel Summit it came from there, and everything is just evolving. No, like I just started with an idea, and a lot of people are now becoming part of it, and more. It's growing organically. It's becoming a movement. And it's not me, it's God doing it. And more, it's because the people, like Caitlyn says, people also feel like it's a platform, a community platform where we are think very similarly, and we share different talents, and we unite to make the circular economy more known, better, expanded. So yeah, I think that's a very important point that Caitlyn touched, and it's what helps me the most to be with you guys. Like you guys motivate me, inspire me. I always learn from you guys. So I think that's very important, and also to have faith, no? Like Hebrews 11:1 says, like you have to believe or move by faith, not by sight, no? So many things you don't see them yet, but if you have faith, you will achieve them. So I think that's my my part on this.
So we have John back with us. Hey, John, do you want to say hi to our audience before I move on to our next question? So, how are you? We've been talking about the differences between, or the similarities between the terms sustainability, regenerative, and circular, because based on the work that Caitlin has been doing with the Waste Not Spot and their consultancy. So, I don't know if you'd like to just present who you are and say hi, and then you do what you do with us as we continue.
Hello, my name is John Mackay. I am supporting Regenera 2025 Travel Summit with graphical communication.
We'll come back to you. So the next question will probably feed into
Okay,
what
thank
you'd
you.
like
Glad to
to.
meet you.
So we have, Caitlin, I wanted to ask you, what has been one of the biggest challenges, especially in transitioning and bringing forward circular? Because we basically are in I would say embryonic, maybe baby steps. I mean, we wanted to see have this in person. We wanted to bring everyone together, and then the timing did not allow. We have elections coming up in the country. We have so many different things, and we understand with the news that goes out. People who have not visited the country, how they can feel. It can make you feel unsettled. So we understand that, and we're hoping that through the podcast and through meetings like this and encounters, more people can hear a different story about Honduras, not only what the news media puts out or not only what the sensationalists put out, but that they can hear a different story. It was Ngozi Adichie Chimamanda that from Nigeria that I love her TED Talk. I think that is the one TED Talk that has stayed with me and impressed me the most, the danger of a single story. If the only story that's out there is one of violence and that's the only story people hear, then people's minds don't change. And she compared it to the US, and she said one of the great things about the US was that multiple stories come out. You have the good, the bad, the ugly, the in between. So you have all these opinions that you can choose. You can formulate your own opinion. So we know that, there's like one dominant line about Honduras, but really and truly, when you step into Honduras, it's like, what? I mean, the green, the beauty of this country just takes your breath away. And it's something that you just got to step off the plane to experience it. And that's kind of like where we hope the passion of people coming, to be informed about it. So coming back to my main question, the challenge, what has been one of your biggest challenges, like when you were transitioning from what you were doing before to getting people to hear you about circular economies?
Hmm. Well, I think I've touched on it just slightly, but I think the first big challenge is circular economy is a term that's so disconnected from people and communities, right? It's just a circular economy. They just go, oh, how's that? And so I think that's the first key challenge to overcome is actually breaking this complex sounding topic down into something that is understandable and actually relevant for, I mean, people are living circular. Everyone I know is doing something circular and they don't associate it with being circular or sustainable. Maybe they've got a bag of bags under their counter that they reuse. Maybe
If
they
you're from the
say,
Caribbean, that's true.
yeah, maybe if you're saving all your jars like a maniac, like I do, every single thing I buy in a glass jar, I go, ooh, I can't wait to have this empty jar at the end. That's a circular initiative. If you're growing your own food, if you're just having tomatoes on the deck, that is circular. If you're shopping at secondhand shops, that is circular. So there's all these things that we're doing every day that are actually circular, but we just need to call them out and kind of draw the dots. I think another challenge, apart from the awareness and education around what we're trying to move towards, is that short-term thinking and versus long-term change. So most of our government election cycles are short-term. So as soon as another government comes in, everything just it's like resetting the clock all over again. Yeah. So that's quite they're often out for quick wins, and same with businesses and organizations. They're thinking in very short term metrics. So if something doesn't deliver you a huge return on investment in the next 6 months, they're not interested in talking to you about it. But it just takes time, takes relationship building, it takes education and awareness campaigning. And then I would say the third and probably the biggest challenge, and this is very front of mind, I just did a podcast episode on this as well, is ourselves. I mean, us as human beings. What's the quote? I love this quote and I don't want to get it wrong. It's by Gus Speth. He says, bear with me. He says, I used to think the top environmental problems were biodiversity loss, ecosystem collapse, and climate change, but I was wrong. The top environmental problems are selfishness, greed, and apathy.
Ooh.
So I would say we need to take a good hard look at ourselves and do the work individually. I mean, Michael Jackson said it best as well. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make the change. So,
The man in the mirror.
yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
I could probably keep quoting all day, but
Wow.
inner development goals, I mean, we've got the sustainable development goals. The inner development goals are there specifically for that reason. So we all need to kind
Well,
of,
lovely. I love that. The inner development goals. I mean, everyone's so busy talking about all the things. Now, Caitlin, I also read in your bio, well, the bio that you have on your website, that you transitioned into local government. I mean, local government is one of the hardest things when we want to get, and you mentioned that governments change and policies change. What motivated you to get involved in local government, or I mean, how was that experience in furthering? your goals?
It was amazing. I must say, before that, to me, I was so disconnected to local government, and it always had this negative connotation, like, oh, local, just government, they're not really looking out for us. Um, but once I got into local government, my whole perspective changed. I loved the role. Yes, it's slow moving. There's a lot of like red tape and bureaucracy, but it's there for a reason, right? Right. Of course, things can be more efficient, but there's a process for a reason to make sure we're doing things correctly. Um, but and for the first time in my career, I was in a place where I wasn't trying to sell anything to anyone. I was there purely to provide a service, and I felt like I
Wow.
just wanted to look after my community and teach them about this amazing thing about zero waste and circular economy. And um, it was a whole mindset shift. And now I totally get and have respect for the thousands and thousands and thousands of people who are in public service who feel that same passion. Um, but these are the people we need to get in with. These are the career policy decision makers. Yes, governments change, but if you're involved and connected with the people who are doing the work, and providing the grants and engaging with their community, that's the most precious contact I think you can have. Yes, there are some in local government that are just looking for a nice retirement plan, but I would say that is the minority.
In the Netherlands.
Well, this was in Australia,
Oh, in Australia.
and I would say probably in the Netherlands as well. I think anywhere. You still, though, I like to believe. No, I know
We're
some.
eternal optimists. You got to be
Yeah,
optimistic to be to be in this. Optimism goes a long way, I think.
yeah, absolutely. There's always one. Just find that one.
Yes,
Be
true.
that one, huh? If it comes back to being the person
Yeah.
in the mirror, taking that step
Yeah.
to um oof, politics can be such an ugly game sometimes, especially in the region that we're in. That it's something that you probably have like 90% of negativity or toxicity coming at you, and you really have to have some serious mental resilience to stand firm if you're going to go into that. And again, I mean, I think if we want to have a call to action from this podcast series, it is definitely to reach out to those people who have that passion for Honduras, passion for the world, passion to bring change. I mean, real change, not just talk change, but like, we meet amazing people like Caitlyn and what she's doing, Vienna and her travel experience, and the people and the places. We have John and their perspectives that can be so unique on how they look at things and with real solutions and real content that we can apply. So we really want to call out and ask anyone who's listening to us in local government. Again, we say share our podcast, ask them to come and sit at our table. We really would like to move forward. Our schools need to hear more about this. Honduras has some amazing new generations coming out. We have a much more bilingual generation growing up in the country. The country has been transitioning. I won't say slowly, because it has maintained its lead statistically as the number one bilingual city, San Pedro Sula, where we are in all of Central America, because of the kind of work and the elements that occurred. And as an educator, people don't recognize it, but really and truly, the Spanglish community has developed into this whole other subculture, that you have one entire subculture of language. You have Spanish, you have English, you have Spanglish, and then it's now spreading throughout the communities. You'll see it in signs, you will see it all over. So the generations are changing. They're growing. They're opening their minds. Students are traveling and studying abroad and coming back home. So we really, really want, as a call of action, to invite the people with the decision-making power to sit down with us, to sit down with us and hear more about it. Vienna, what would you wish for travelers and tourism stakeholders in particular to better understand about the communities and the context that you engage with? I mean, Regenera Travel Summit, Belu Travel, you've kind of touched on it and talked about it before, but what, after listening to Caitlyn's education on circular, the vision of circular that Waste Not Spot works with, what do you wish for tourism and travel stakeholders?
Yes, what Caitlyn said. Basically, I wish people to go to make like a self-audit of where they are, what they're doing, because most of the people, at least that I see in my circle, they are just like living, in autopilot, and they don't see how the world is being damaged, how the communities are, some living in very bad conditions. Like if they have work, they have food in their table, they're happy, no, and they don't care. They're like, if I'm good, everything is good, and I keep being like living in this linear economy, like Caitlin says. I earn, I do what I like, and I waste, but I don't do something else. So then there's other people like you, like John, like me, that when people like open our eyes, then we see, okay, there's something wrong, that is, we're going on a bad way, and if this continues, it's gonna get worse. We have to do something to fix it, to make things better, to be more circular, to help the communities, to restore ecosystems. Like there's so much that has to be done, but it comes from within, no, it comes from and for that you have to open your eyes, you have to like wake up. No, you cannot be just like living life and like I don't care what, like you live in a world, no, and this world is in a point that needs all its people to make things different, make things better, like go back to this circular way of living, no, because we have been in this linear economy for too long, and at least I'm like I'm traveling all the time, no, and I see all these places, and I went there since when I was little. And for me, it's heartbreaking to remember how it was when I was 8 years old, that it was a paradise, clean, like wow, like, like a movie, and then come back and see all the trash on the beach and TVs on the beach and bottles, and I cried because I was like, it's heartbreaking. Like I was like, I have to do something because, I don't know if anyone, like maybe the government doesn't care, but I need to see the way I have to do something, no? And sadly, like in our experience, well, I have worked also with the government in Honduras previously, and there has been government to government, because in other governments they have been supportive, they have given funds to do the events. But well, this time they said, "Oh yes, it's a nice idea. We will support you. Yeah, of course, count with us. Anything you need." But then well, yeah, we have this situation about the elections, no? So they prioritized other funds, although there is a special tourism tax in Honduras that is specially for these types of education promotion for these type of initiatives, no? So I wonder, what are they using this tourism tax for? Why are they charging us this tourism tax if they're not, if Honduras has dropped since this last government came to office? Honduras was in the place 97 of tourism, and now we're in the like 130. So it has dropped. And you can see, like when I travel to Guatemala, to El Salvador, everywhere in Guatemala and in El Salvador, I see tourists everywhere, backpackers, all types of tourists. And in Honduras, I go to the places, I go to Pulapanzac, I go to Miami. We are the only foreign tourists. Then maybe there's some local people, but we are like, my tourists are the only foreign ones. Like, and they're like, whoa, how this place is so beautiful, and there's no one here,
Mm.
literally. So, I mean,
Yeah,
like,
Pulapanzac is
maybe these
amazing.
maybe these office people from the government, they don't really travel around and see what's happening. I don't know. So just yeah, just as an example, no? So I think the change has to come from each person, from within. And for one person that unites to this summit and that wants to learn and connect with change makers and experts, then I'm already happy, and for them and for us, no? Because the community is growing, we're getting stronger, and we are really making a better impact in the world. So that's what we really want. We want to educate, inspire, and connect people to make this change possible. And well, it's already changing, but to impulse this change
You
and
can
this new
definitely see
economy.
Vienna, local government, going next, sweetie. I could definitely hear that and support that. Um, you know, go to our website. We are Regenera Travel Summit 2025. Go to our website. You will find that you can sign up for our summit. It will be launched on September 27th. You will meet amazing people like Caitlyn Sockwell who will be sharing their knowledge, their experience. I mean, this is like a master class of practical knowledge and skills to like get going. There'll be education, there'll be inspiration, there will be connections to be made. But I guess, sometimes we have to break the mold where we've
Mhm.
been taught that being a pioneer or taking a risk, we want to be secure. And I guess that comes back to what Vienna said earlier about faith. Faith is not about just, it's like stepping off the ledge and taking that leap and not knowing what's underneath, and you might be surprised by where you land. Um, it takes that, but definitely Regenera Travel Summit 2025 has collected some really amazing, interesting individuals who are literally working towards building the circular economy. They are doing things in their own countries. They are demonstrating that you can make changes. And again, it comes back to another point that was made in our podcast today, that it starts with an internal mission, a personal, that inner development goal, that I want to be part of something different. I want to be part of the change. So, I can't remember which one of the cartoons said it, I guess as a mom, but it's like, you see the change, you be the change. I think it was the ant movies from a while back when they became the ball. They needed to be the ball to knock something out, and I think they became the ball. Let's do it. And um, that's my mom. That's my mom wisdom from the cartoons and the kids and learning through the eyes of my kids and wanting to leave them a better world. John, sweetie, from everything that you've heard so far, you want to give us your key takeaways from what you've heard?
Yes, I've been updating myself about circular economy because I was late to joining the Zoom. So it's pretty cool how it tries to take us from the linear economy, that is take, make, and waste, to refuse saying no to what you don't need, reduce to less consuming, being mindful about your purchases, and recycle, reuse. So one, if you see you see stuff as a system, and people being in the center about it, because things happens because of reasons, right? So often about the problems Caitlyn said, that are apathy, selfishness, greed. These have origins, and the origin of this is us. So it makes a lot of sense that to point out that as the biggest issue. So if we don't solve these problems, we don't help us each other to cover our blind spots and grow up, and have a bigger vision about how things are interconnected between. Um, then we get all these things Vienna was talking about, like about complaining about the government. You don't know about how tourism tax is spent. So yes, I am very happy to be here and having the chance to be part of of listening and having to speak a little about this, because I do really think so that we are the origin, and if we do really tackle these personal issues, then might we might have, instead of apathy, selfishness, and greed, be having people working on themselves and having more empathy to the situations that are not their situations, and situations and even situations that the start are my situations, really. And if I don't expand and use my empathy to really see the systems that are around me, then it will be hard for people to think about how this kind of trash impacts a particular ecosystem, and, and how it expands and have more consequences.
Thank you, John.
Great.
Could
Yes,
not have
and
said it better.
yes, no, and I want to add that, yeah, education is an investment. It's the best investment you can make. And well, this summit really is like a great investment. Like I paid for 4 classes, 1,000 euros for the travel management course that was specialized in circular economy and regenerative travel. It was 1,000 euros for 4 classes. And here we have like 30 amazing, not just classes, we have workshops, we have amazing activities, we have panels, we have like keynote speeches of experts from around the world, from the globe. And wow, the price is only $350. And right now we are giving a 50% discount for the first 50 buyers. So it's basically like 175, right? $175. And you can also pay it up to 6 months. So we are doing this because it's not cheap to do this, but we want to give like a special price. We want, because we also know that the economy at the moment is not in the best shape, let's say. So we're trying to give the best price possible and give the opportunity for people to learn, to join the movement, to connect, to get inspired, to educate themselves, so that we can all, like John says, change our mindset, grow, and be more mindful of how we can be better ourselves every day. And we will see the impact in the world if we do that, if each of one does this. For example, like I think I like to do a lot with travel. I love mission trips. I love, like, the travels I like the most are where I go and help, like, children are at risk, or where I go and clean, or where I go and work and do stuff, and I feel that I did something good for the place. That's my type of travel, where I really connect and share with the people and like that. But there's all types of travelers. Some travelers are more passive, like we were talking, they just want to relax. But even you, if you're more of a passive traveler, you can also make a difference by choosing a provider that you know is more responsible, or a local provider, for example, instead of a big corporation and where the money doesn't even go to the location, but it goes somewhere else. Choose a local provider and someone that really gives back to the community. Like, you're not doing it maybe directly, but you're doing it indirectly, because you're investing in a company that really does regenerative travel, or that is more responsible, no? So as a traveler or consumer, I also invite travelers to be more mindful when they choose their providers, and try to choose people that are aligned with this vision. And there you're already doing supporting, no, this movement, and you're already being of a positive impact for the world.
So thank you very much, each of you. Wow. Um, Again, each of these podcasts, when we started doing this, it was about education, and we hope to inspire and allow people to connect. But, it's just it keeps inspiring me to connect with you guys. And I think what Caitlin mentioned about connecting with people, I feel like for the first time in a long time to be swimming in a direction with like-minded individuals, and it is inspiring and motivational to do that. Caitlin, I saw that you have a friendly visitor who has been circling you over and over. If you'd like to present him or her on camera, because he's obviously your attention has been with us, and he's been walking by. One of my friend is a cat lover, and he gets really jealous when she's doing other stuff. So if you'd like to do that and give us your closing words before we close our this segment, this episode, and thank you for sharing your expertise, the value of your life's wisdom to the point of what you've been doing. Thank you very much from my heart, from our team. So, can you share with us any takeaways and call to action that you would like to make?
Sure. Well, firstly, you're so welcome. It's been such a pleasure to be on this podcast episode, chatting with you both, and also learning myself from all of you. Um, that was Daisy walking before. She is well known for presenting herself while I'm on podcast recordings or Zoom meetings. She doesn't like being left out. She's not here with me right now, but she's glaring at me from across the room. But I just want to say, I think a message that I'd love to share with other change makers who will be joining in on the summit, or just listening in and just in general interested. Firstly, you don't need to be perfect. Just have to start somewhere, and start with something that makes you feel something. There's a reason I don't work in clean energy. We need it, absolutely, but it doesn't get me out of bed in the morning. I don't wake up and go, yes, energy. I know it's there. I know it exists, and there's lots of great people saying, but if it's me trying to promote that space, I'll just burn out quite quickly. So find something that lights your fire. Again, working together is better than working alone. So find your coalition of the willing. Find the people around you in your household, in your workplace, in your community, that are just as passionate about you. It doesn't have to be about the same thing. I mean, it's good. Different perspectives are still good. We need different brains, different ways of working. But find someone or people who are just as passionate about you as of making change. And I would say the third one is keep it human. I think, especially when you're on the business level or government level, sometimes I think ego and pride and like aesthetics get in the way. At the end of the day, we're all people with the same set of values, and we just need to. We're all about connection, so we don't need to put on this facade. We're all human. Let's just act like it. And I would say, kind of going off of what Vienna said, I love what you said, Vienna, just then about even passive travelers can
Mhm.
opt for more responsible options. I love that. It's regenerative travel isn't something crazy extra effort that you need to put into it. There are options for every type of traveler. Um, I think, yeah, tourism is certainly a force that we can use to transition to a circular economy and restore our planet, both socially and environmentally, rather than harm it. And I think when we're doing that, we need to keep in mind communities should be in the lead always, full stop. And yeah, I think every destination should have a zero waste or circular economy plan tied to its tourism footprint. That should just circular economy. I would love my wish for the future is that every organization, every tourism operator has circular economy as a lens through which it makes decisions and operates. So I will leave you with that as my parting words.
Thank
Wow.
you very much. I don't know if John or Fiona wish to add anything before we close out. Do you guys wish to add anything? Because I think that was like perfect.
Yes. Wow. I don't know how I can improve that. That was very good. No, I want to thank Caitlin for her time, for all her hard work. She's doing an amazing work. Wow, I'm very impressed with I can see her passion really, and I couldn't agree with her more. It's like a higher calling. Like for me, I feel that fire in my heart. Like that's what makes me go, move on, even if I have many challenges, even if people think I'm crazy or many people don't even or ignore me or yeah, don't understand. Like I keep going and like Caitlin says, finding the tribe is really helpful and really motivating and gives you fuel like to continue, no? And strengthens you. So that's super important. And we invite you to the Regenera Travel community because here we are this type of people and we are here for you and we want to help you turn on this fire and fuel you to be happier, be better, and make this world better too.
Thank you. Thank you. So you hear that from our one of the founding members of Regenerate Travel Summit, that vision. We invite you to visit our page, www.regeneratravelsummit.org, and you will
.com.
get .com and you will be able to register. And as Vienna said, there's already a 50% discount and there is facility. It's super accessible. And more than that is the connection with the people that you will encounter as you do this. So we want to say thank you very much to everyone watching, joining. And if you know someone in local government, reach out to them, have them connect with us. And if you want to connect with us as well, visit our page and join our summit. We're starting on September 27th. So we're looking forward. John, do you have anything to add before we close out?
Thank you very much, Caitlin. Thank you, Vienna, for creating this meeting. So I have the chance to meet these amazing people. Thank you, Suzanne, for being a host. Um, that, for me, that's it.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Caitlin. And we say hi and bye to Daisy. So we are out. Thank you very much, everyone. Until our next.
Thank you. Adios.
Adios.